Alright, welcome back for another session of Star Wars Miniatures movie scenario matches. Don't worry folks, I'm not going to ramble on for this introduction the way I did for the Phantom Menace, but basically in short, we're going to do 3 different matches already set up with pre-squads made up. For this first match, it's just going to be a real simple, short, one-on-one General Kenobi versus Jango Fett. We actually took the map from the game Star Wars Epic Duels, the Camino platform, and we shrunk it down so that the squares can be 1-inch squares, just like on a regular Star Wars Miniatures battle map. But this one kind of backfired on us because, as you can see, the Slave 1 ship came out a heck of a lot smaller than it needs to be. But for such a small one-on-one match, we didn't really need a map that big. And one thing about this particular match, whoever wins, whoever the loser is not going to necessarily be killed. It's just going to be a defeated character. If Jango defeats Obi-Wan, then that means he actually escapes off of Camino just like he did in the movie. However, if Obi-Wan defeats Jango, then Jango is actually captured. Without further ado, we're going to start round 1. Alright, as expected, round 1 was really fast. Jango won initiative, sat in his same square, pulled off his double attack against Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was able to deflect the first hit, but had to take damage for Jango's second shot, so he took 20 damage. He ended up moving 9 squares to get himself adjacent to Jango, and now we're going to roll to see who wins initiative for round 2. Round 2 just ended. Jango won initiative again. But instead of allowing Obi-Wan to use his double attack, Jango flew 6 squares away, took a single shot at Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan took 20 damage. However, Obi-Wan was able to move 4 more squares adjacent to Jango, pulled off a single attack, successfully hit Jango. So right now, as it stands, Obi-Wan is at 60 hit points and Jango is at 100. Round 3 coming up soon. Alright, round 3 just ended. Jango decided to sit in his square to use his double attack. However, Obi-Wan was able to block one of his shots, but the second shot he had to take damage. So he is now down to 40 hit points. Jango, however, still has his full 100 from the last round. Obi-Wan sat in his square, used his double attack. All he needed was a 5 or higher to successfully hit Jango. His first roll was a 4. His second one was a 3. Since he already used up 4 out of his 5 force points, he decided to not use any more to re-roll any of those missed attacks. So he has 1 force point left. This next round is more likely going to be the last round of this match. Alright, round 4 is over. Obi-Wan lives to see another round. He's down to his last 20 hit points. Jango took some damage this time. He's down to 60 hit points. Unfortunately for Obi-Wan, he has not won initiative one time this whole game. We'll see if his luck changes for round 5 coming up. Alright, after 5 rounds, the match is over. Jango pulled it off. He ended up defeating Obi-Wan. Doesn't mean Obi-Wan is dead. He's just defeated. Jango was able to slip through his fingers. He ended up making it to Slave 1. He's escaping off of Camino. And we'll be seeing him in the next match as we conclude round 5. As we conclude part 1 of our 3-match scenario for Attack of the Clones. Alright, before we begin part 2 of our Attack of the Clones scenario here, there are a few scenario rules that need to be first explained. Right off the bat, these 2 pieces, Nute Gunray and Count Dooku, are not going to be involved in this match. They are merely there as a decorative piece. They're there just to view the battle that's going on in this match. Now, we are not going to use this whole entire map. We're going to kind of ignore this part with the assembly area, the droid factory. We are only going to use this part of the map that has the big arena pit. Since we're restricting the play to be only in this part of the map, we also installed another rule where if you are a non-melee attacker, you have to be within 6 squares of your target if you wish to try and shoot him. Reason for that is because if you can take a good look at this map, there's very little to no cover here in the center, and because of that, I think both opponents might get tempted to just sit in their same spot and not actually try to move towards the center when shooting. So we're going to install this rule just for this match to be where you have to be within 6 squares of your opponent to shoot them. This way it'll encourage some of these pieces to try actually get out in the center and get out where the action's going on. One more thing, as you can see here, we have the 3 creatures. We have the Acklay, the Reek, and the Nexu. Now, since this match only has 2 players, what we're going to do is take turns controlling these 3 pieces. So every other round, one person will have control of these. So in the odd numbered rounds, like say rounds 1, 3, and 5, one opponent will be able to control these 3 pieces, and the other opponent will be able to control them on the even numbered rounds, like rounds 2, 4, and 6, and so forth. Now, once one side is completely defeated, let's just say the Separatists completely lose everything, then the 2 opponents will no longer take turns controlling these 3. Whoever loses their squad first will gain full control of these pieces, and the match will continue until only one side is standing. So for this match, we have the Republic. We have a few clone troopers and a few Jedi Knights. You can see we got Kenobi again. We got Anakin Skywalker, Mace Windu, Agent Kohler, Kit Fisto, and Padme's kind of tucked back there behind that clone trooper. On the other side here, for the Separatists, we got a handful of Geonosians, a handful of super battle droids, some battle droid officers and sergeants, and of course we've got probably the stronghold of this team, Jango Fett. This is going to be a 300-point match, not counting the costs of these 3. So we will be rolling initiative here to see who will start round 1. Alright, after round 1 is over, this is looking more like a battle here. The center of this arena is looking pretty nicely filled with some pieces. We've had 8 casualties in round 1. Couple clone troopers, a clone trooper grenadier. Basically the Republic lost 4 clone troopers and the Separatists lost 4 pieces as well. 1 Geonosian and 3 super battle droids. We forgot to mention Ki-Adi-Mundi in the introduction. He's also part of the Republic team. He took a little bit of a beating here from Jango Fett. Jango Fett's sniper took Ki-Adi's cover away, so he had a nice straight shot at Ki-Adi-Mundi and hit him with a nice 30 damage, so he's lost some hit points there. We'll be rolling for initiative for round 2 here right now. Alright, just thought I'd start recording the conclusion of round 2 from a different angle here. Quite a bit to report. First off, one of the clone trooper grenadiers did pretty doggone good. He moved a couple squares to the side, tossed 1 grenade at one of the Geonosians who happened to have 4 adjacent allies. Unfortunately, the grenade only does 10 damage. Each character that the grenade affected had 20 hit points, so 5 chances to avoid that grenade. 5 rolls of an 11 or higher, and not one of those single rolls was higher than 11. So all 5 characters took 10 damage. However, they didn't quite die because they still had 20 hit points left. So still, that was pretty doggone good. That grenadier did 10 damage to 5 characters, so not bad. Casualties for this second round, 4 more Separatists off the map. So that's 8 Separatists gone. However, for the Republic, they lost 3 more pieces, and they weren't just little weak link clone troopers. 3 Jedi Knights gone. You got Agent Kohler Anakin, and Ki-Adi Mundi. All three are gone. So at the end of round 2, I'll tell you what, I have to admit, I really underestimated these battle droids and super battle droids. It's just amazing how a couple super battle droids were able to pull off 40 damage on one attack. So this little combo, definitely not to be underestimated, with the Roger Roger special ability that grants the extra 10 damage, and then of course the fire control, which adds the +4 attack. I'm just amazed. I really did. I underestimated these super battle droids and how much they can actually do. Even if they die this next round, they definitely did their damage before they get killed. So initiative for round 3 coming up shortly. Alright, we just finished round 3, and quite a difference here in number of pieces left on the board compared to the last round, isn't it? You know, even though this match was a 300-point match, it has been going by kind of fast because we had so many low hit point characters on both sides that it was just really easy to pick a whole bunch off a little at a time. So it's looking like 4 or 5 pieces left on the Republic side against 3 left on the Separatists. It's still not over yet though, because Jango's at full health, then again so is Windu, so is Padme. It's going to be interesting to see if these remaining Jedi can take Jango down. And one more thing, the explanation of these little bottle caps here, we just kind of thought it would be easier every other round. Once a character is activated, throw a bottle cap underneath his base. Next round we start, when he's activated, take the bottle cap away. So we're alternating back and forth this way. Easier to keep track of who's been activated and who has yet to activate. Of course, we're not really worrying about the 3 creatures because they're kind of easy to remember. So we'll be starting to roll initiative here for round 4. Alrighty, round 4 just ended, and this map looks even emptier than the last round. Couple things. Jango started off the round by winning initiative. He used his double attack against Obi-Wan. Oh boy, all he needed was a 2 or higher. His first attack against Obi-Wan was a 1. His second attack was successful, but Obi-Wan blocked it, so Jango sat there, used his double attack, and did 0 damage. They're closing in on him. The creatures are closing in on everybody else too. All that's left for the Separatist side is Jango. The Republic still has 3 Jedi Knights plus Padme. Round 5 beginning shortly. Alright, round 5 was a bit interesting. Jango used his flamethrower on the Nexu, which of course affected every adjacent character. That actually killed off the Nexu, and everyone adjacent took 20 damage. So the Nexu's gone. Right now, it's 4 Republic pieces against Jango Fett, but this round, Jango will have control of the 2 remaining creatures. So I guess this next round is going to be kind of 4 against 3. We will roll for initiative here for round 6. Alright, after round 6, doesn't look too good for Jango. He's down to his last 10 hit points. These Jedi have slowly taken him down. Heck, even Padme with her little 10 damage was able to hit him 2 times. So it doesn't look like he's going to last to see round 8 as we begin round 7 pretty soon. But if he does die this round, then the Separatist player will be able to take control of both the Reek and the Acolyte, who for some reason just went ahead and ran away. But we'll be rolling for initiative for round 7 right now. Alright, after 7 rounds, that's it for the Separatists. They're gone. As it was pretty easy to predict, Jango did go down. But before he got killed off, he was able to take Kit Fisto with him. So, as it stands right now, the only 3 remaining pieces left for the Republic are Padme, Mace, and Obi-Wan. So as we begin round 8, the former Separatist player will now take control of the Acolyte and the Reek and see if they can possibly wipe out the 3 remaining players of the Republic. Round 8 beginning right now. Alright, these rounds are of course getting shorter and shorter as we're seeing less and less on the map. Round 8 just ended. And the Reek decided to provoke attack of opportunity against all three of his opponents, and all three were able to do some damage to him. So he took a little bit of damage before he used his charging assault, but in doing so, he did end up doing 40 damage and completely wiped out Padme, so she is now gone. So it's a little tag team we got going on here. The two creatures against Obi-Wan and Mace. We're going to roll initiative here for round 9. Alright, with the conclusion of round 9, the Reek is gone. He saw his last bit of life in the last round. The Accolade did quite a bit of damage to Obi-Wan. He used his triple attack, and actually one of those rolls was a critical hit. Had he made a successful dice roll on his other two attacks, we would not be seeing Obi-Wan standing here right now. But since he missed one of his attacks, Obi-Wan is still standing with just 10 hit points left. I kind of like this little stand-up we have going on here because it's just like the movie where Obi-Wan was taking on the Accolade. But this is it. Right now we've got two Jedi Knights taking the Accolade, who's only got 30 hit points left. Obi-Wan with only 10. We'll begin round 10 right now. Alrighty, after 10 rounds, this match is over. The Republic won initiative for round 10. The Accolade has a pretty low defense, which really wasn't difficult for Obi-Wan to match. The Accolade had 30 hit points. Because the Republic won initiative, Obi-Wan was able to pull off his double attack and take the Accolade down pretty easily. So, for 300 points, this match didn't go too terribly slow. Like I said earlier, it had quite a few low hit point characters that were pretty easy to pick off throughout the rounds. Windu was nearly invincible. He didn't see a whole lot of action, but he ended up with 120 hit points left. And like I said earlier, Obi-Wan barely alive, having 10 hit points left, but still standing. This map that once had 40 pieces was left with 38 casualties, only 2 standing, not really counting the 2 pieces, Dooku and Newt Gunray. But we'll be getting ready here for part 3. This will conclude part 2 of our Attack of the Clones scenario. And by the way, we did discover that Anakin actually didn't get killed. He just got wounded, but he's having a fast recuperation. So we'll be seeing him in part 3 of our Attack of the Clones scenario. Alright, we are getting ready to start part 3 of our Attack of the Clones scenario matches. This is going to be the final segment of our battles. And like every other scenario we do, we try our best to pick the pieces that closest resemble the characters from the movie. As you can see here, Yoda, everything is going to be explained here because, again, this match has special scenario rules that are going to be a little different from our typical Wizards of the Coast rules. Yoda's sitting back here. We'll explain him in a minute, but for right now, we have Dooku, which is actually Darth Tyranus, Legacy of the Dark Side, and we have the 2 Clone Strike pieces of Anakin and Obi-Wan. Now, this was going to be treated a little differently since Dooku's all by himself and he has 3 opponents to face. What we're going to do is we're going to treat him a little bit like a Darth Scion, where we're going to give him 2 stat cards, basically. When he goes through all his hit points on 1 stat card, we're going to allow him to use a 2nd stat card and return to full health, since he is taking on 3 opponents. Yoda is not going to join the battle until either these 2 are completely out of hit points, or he may not join the battle at all if somehow these 2 manage to pull off defeating Tyrannus. The map we're using is the Rancor's dungeon map. It was the closest map we had that could possibly resemble the cave in which this battle takes place. So we're doing our best to try and make everything match the movie, and also we purposely picked, in our opinion, what we thought was the better Dooku of the entire game to take on the weaker Anakin and Obi-Wan, just to kind of, number one, make things a little more fair, and number two, also, we're hoping that the results of this match will closest resemble what happened in the movie. So, as we've said before, any piece here that runs out of hit points doesn't necessarily die, they're just defeated. If Dooku manages to survive through both of his stat cards and he defeats the 3 characters, then it's going to turn out where he gets to escape, just like Jango did earlier. So this is a first time experience for us. We're not exactly sure how this is going to pan out with these special scenario rules, but we'll be starting round 1 here in just a few minutes. Alright, real quick, first round ended. Dooku lost initiative and was forced to go first. He moved more than his 6 squares, allowing the 2 Jedi to engage him. Each one was able to make a single attack against him. Both of them rolled a successful hit. However, Dooku used a force point to block Obi-Wan's blow and took no damage. Anakin needed a 17 to hit him and actually rolled a successful number. Dooku decided to take the damage rather than use a force point to block it, so he's down by 20 hit points right now. The other 2 Jedi are still at full health as we begin round 2. Alright, I feel the need to mention this. Because of Dooku's lightsaber duelist, his defense is going to be a 25 against both these Jedi. Anakin's attack is an 8. So anytime he wants to hit Dooku, he needs to roll 17 or higher. This guy has had 3 rolls so far in this match against Dooku, and his first roll is a 17, second roll a 20, and third roll a 19. This Anakin needs to go to the boats or something, but anyway, Dooku used a force point to block the critical hit. He just decided to take the 20 damage again from Anakin. Obi-Wan, who only needs an 11 or higher with his double attack, rolled a single digit number both times. So Dooku is down to 80 hit points, Obi-Wan is down to 60, while Anakin is still at full health. We're going into round 3 now. Alright, with the end of round 3, it's basically coming down to just dice roll now. No one's moving, everyone's just sitting in their same squares trying to use their double attacks. That being said, 6 dice rolls were made in round 3, and only 1 successful hit was made out of all 3 characters' attacks. Both the Jedi were unlucky, and between their 4 attacks, they rolled all 4 unsuccessful hits. Same thing with Dooku. He had a double attack, and he was only able to pull 1 off. All he needed was a 4 or higher to hit Obi-Wan, and his first attack he rolled a 3. So, yeah, 5 out of 6 rolls here were all misses. Let's see if things can change here for round 4 coming up. Alright, finally some results here. This round 4, the Jedi took a big risk here. Obi-Wan was down to his last 40 hit points when round 3 ended. Instead of using his force heal, they decided to use their double attack instead. He paid for that because when round 4 started, the Jedi lost initiative. Dooku took it, knowing that Obi-Wan had only 40 hit points left. He used his double attack against Obi-Wan and took him out of the game. So Obi-Wan never had a chance to use his force heal. Once Obi-Wan was eliminated, that allowed Anakin to use his impulsive sweep, so he made an immediate attack against Dooku, missed, but then used his double attack and actually hit 1 time. Anakin's rolling really well for needing a 17 to hit Dooku. He's rolling really well. So Dooku right now is down to 60 hit points on his first stat card. We're going into round 5 now. Alright, a pretty short round 5 just ended, and like I said before, Anakin is rolling really well. His low attack of an 8 requires him to roll a 17. Ironically, Obi-Wan, who has a higher attack, has not hit Dooku one time. Dooku's taken 80 damage, and all 80 because of Anakin's high rolls. So right now, as it stands, Dooku is down to his last 40 hit points on his first stat card. Anakin is down to 30. Dooku could have been using his force points to try and block those blows, but if you're familiar with his stat card, then you'll know why he's been letting his force points stack up. We're going to begin round 6 right now. Alright, with the conclusion of round 6, Yoda's finally in this game. Dooku managed to take down Anakin, but Anakin, I gotta tell you, did so well. Dooku's still down his last 40 hit points for his first stat card. But before Anakin went down, he managed to use his last final hit point to try and make an attack against Dooku. It wasn't a successful hit, he did miss. But with both the Jedi down, Yoda's now joining the game as we begin round 7. We're going for initiative now. Round 7 just ended and Dooku lost initiative, was forced to go first. But instead of moving, he sat in his square, robbing Yoda his opportunity to use a double attack. So Dooku sat in his square, gained an extra force point. Yoda moved up 1, used a single attack, and was able to hit Dooku with it. Dooku is down to his last 20 hit points of his first stat card. We're going into round 8 right now. Definitely some interesting news to report here for round 8. This is going to play out just like the movie, where Dooku says this contest cannot be decided by our knowledge of the Force. Dooku attempted to use his Force Lightning, which cost him 5 Force points. Yoda used 3 of his Force points to cancel that power. That was a waste of a turn for Dooku. So he had no opportunity at all to do any kind of damage to Yoda. Yoda had his double attack and needed a 10 or higher. Both rolls were unsuccessful. So other than 8 force points total being wasted in this round, nothing else has occurred as we go into round 9. Round 9 just ended, and I'll tell you what, Yoda definitely is not having the luck with dice rolls that Anakin did. Dooku's only chance now, he can keep trying to use his Force Lightning, but it's going to keep getting canceled by Yoda, so his only chance now of taking Yoda down is just to do regular double attack with his lightsaber and use his Force points for blocks or whatever else, re-rolls. That's the only chance he's going to have of getting out of this. Yoda has double attack also, and both his attacks were not successful, so Dooku is just hanging on by a thread here. His last 20 hit points still on his first original stat card. So he may have a chance here of escaping, just like the movie played out, as we begin round 10. Well, after 10 rounds, Dooku finally loses all 120 hit points on his first stat card. So now he starts over at 120 for his second stat card. And he had to use a couple force points for re-rolls and blocks, and just really didn't have much luck there, so he finally lost his last 20 hit points. Yoda not really rolling the greatest against Dooku, but right now Yoda, as it stands, is down to his last 60 hit points as we go into round 11. Alright, the 11th round ended this battle. Yoda had 60 hit points left, and Dooku really just did not be able to, he was not able to use his Force Lightning like he had planned in this whole match. He was saving up his Force points to try and nail Yoda, but Yoda has his Force Cancel, which really disallowed him to use his Lightning. But with Yoda's last 60 hit points, Dooku managed to roll a critical hit for his first attack. So that brought Yoda's hit points down from 60 to 20, and then with his second attack, all he needed was a 7 or higher, and that eliminated Yoda's hit points. So Dooku lives to fight another day. He escapes just like he did in the movie. We're going to prepare here for our episode 3 match. Thanks for watching.